Let's take a minute to talk a little bit about kind of some of the trends that you're seeing in the manufacturing and industrial manufacturing, just to get and then I want to dig a little bit into what y'all are doing with your clients
Yeah.
to help them be successful in getting that very complicated message out.
Yeah. Yeah. So some things I've seen are definitely a big one is Industry 4.0, right? Big data within manufacturing plants. How are you collecting data on the line and moving and processing that in a place that an analyst can make a real business decision? So like that's one thing. Then we have all these labor issues, right? So it's either cheap labor over in East Asia? Are they using Mexican manufacturing? We like huge news right now going on with United Automobile Workers Union and like the all the stuff that's happening in the automotive industry. Yeah, so labor is a big one, but even just like, okay, is there even enough people where your work is to fill your manufacturing plant? Like, can you operate 2 to 3 shifts a day with assemblers and people on the floor? That's really challenging. So then you start talking about automation. We work with a couple automation companies at Gorilla, and they're kind of coming in and saying we can help augment your workforce or take
Mhm.
away some of those, the worker ergonomic problems, right? Like a person that's really working on really small, delicate things, like trying to assemble things like little tiny screws and nuts and stuff. That sucks for people to do. And people like I've heard stories of there was one company was like trying to like move boxes and fold boxes up. And a person would start in the morning and then quit by Monday at lunch because the work was so tedious. It's like, well,
Mhm.
that's not a good place for you. And there's just huge turnover. And I think Cindy, how much it costs to hire new people. It's
Yep.
extremely expensive and it takes a long time to train people up. So yeah, so they're kind of coming in and saying we're going to help augment your force, remove that labor issue, and so now instead of low, uh, what's the word, like low technical skills, like let's build up your workforce to have high technical skills and operate robots. Is kind of the thing, and then you have all the other stuff too, right? Like so, there's like the Buy America thing, like just a lot of government regulations coming out. Energy is a big thing. Like so with Graco, new product that I helped to start the launch process on. That was all about trying to remove high cost of electricity from air compressors and move it, the electricity to the pump. So like there's a lot of stuff that's happening in manufacturing. And so like to move into like with what we're doing with Gorilla is like, all right, let's talk about these trends. And I think the thing that's important here is just understanding what your end users are going through. What are those challenges? Are they having labor issues? Are they having energy issues? Is there government regulations that are at play? Um, do you have a plan, or like does your product directly address those, right? So we kind of always talk about the April Dunford method of positioning, where it's differentiated features lead to differentiated value, and that leads to a really good outcome for clients. And so just trying to hone our messaging into like those 1 to 3 things that are really important to your customers, instead of the traditional way that manufacturers have talked about their products is just bullet points and tables of features, benefits, and technical specs that doesn't actually move anybody to make a decision.